Wizards of the Coast just sent us the new book for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, The Wild Beyond the Witchlight. So you know what that means.
I guess it's time for us to overview a new D&D book.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
I'm Nerdarchy Steve. Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds.
Now let us journey into the Feywild.
Alright, so today we're going to be talking about The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, the new adventure by Wizards of the Coast for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. We were nice enough to be sent they were nice enough to send us a couple of review copies to take a look at. So we have a handful of them with both special covers and the regular covers, which you know what that means if you're a fan of the channel and been around for a while. These end up in our giveaway piles. So by joining our newsletter or becoming a patron, there's links down in the description. You will become eligible to win our monthly giveaway, and these will be in there at some point or another.
All right. So disclaimer says, dare to take a step into the dark, backward, and abysm of time. Know that Wizards of the Coast cannot be held responsible for those who enter the Feywild of their own accord. In a fairy realm, time gets twisted in knots. It might be months or years before you return to the real world. Enjoy the adventure while it lasts, and don't be surprised if you encounter a few friends and foes from old editions lurking among the Fey.
All right, as far as the disclaimers go, that one was kind of weak. Like, we've gotten some really good ones in the past that have really made me laugh. This one gets a thumbs down. I don't know who wrote this one.
I wouldn't give it a thumbs down. It's not that I don't dig it. But like, it's a tease of letting you know of some of the ramifications of journeying in the Feywild, and a tease at, okay, well, we might see some older edition monsters and NPCs. So that's the part that, has got my
it's got your interest.
My intrigue up.
I don't know. I like the ones that are a little bit funnier.
Yeah,
so
true.
So for me, whatever. It's a thing. It's an adventure for characters levels 1 through 8. It's going to take you through those levels, so it'll keep your party adventuring and busy for a little while.
Indeed. So the book is about 250 pages, broken down into 5 chapters and 5 appendices.
You're going to get a pull-out map, which is really nice and big. Also, you're going to get these story tracker cards, and so there's some other things in there as well to kind of dive into. Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Dungeon Fog, for sponsoring this video. And if you are looking to maybe add some of your own maps into this adventure or any other adventure, really, you can go over to Dungeon Fog. You can sign up for a free account. You can check it out, see how you like it. If you like it, sign up for an account. It's really intuitive and easy to use. Not only that, they also have a bunch of great maps already done for you over there that you can either use for a blueprint in order to make your own maps from, or you can just use them for your games. We'll put a link down in the description. Go sign up for a free account and check it out.
But hey, you're looking for another way to support the channel, to keep making videos like this and all the articles over on nerdarchy.com, why not come check us out over on Patreon and support us there?
As a special thank you, you'll receive 5e content for both DMs and players alike. As we mentioned, we use Dungeon Fog to make maps. Some of those maps even end up over on the Patreon rewards. In addition to that, we are making races, subclasses, feats, spells, magic items, some of which we turn into print and play cards. I feel like we do a bunch of other stuff over there as well. There's even a chance to game with Nerdarchy. There will be a link down in the description as well as in the card up here. But not only that, you can go download a free sample to see if it's something that would interest you or not.
So the first chapter is the introduction, which gives you the breakdown, the how to use this book, how to run this adventure. It's really useful, a lot of fun. There's a Fey trinkets table, gives you 100 trinkets to be able to roll randomly, all linked to things that are, apropos for this particular book, as well as you're going to get 2 backgrounds to choose from.
Yeah, Fey Lost and the Witchlight Hand. You're also going to get 2 races.
So the 2 races are the Faerie and the Herongon. These are things that we saw in, the Feywild Unearthed Arcana. So we already have an idea of the direction that they're looking at there.
And then we're going to get basically 2 ways to get into the adventure, right? There's the more traditional way, Warlock's Quest, which is essentially there's a quest giver, they send you to go do a thing, right? Or the Lost Things, which is like, oh, you've been to the carnival before, you snuck in, there's consequences of sneaking in, like your thing's stolen from you. And this is Fey things. This isn't just like stuff you own, which then invokes this like minor curse, and And the precept for the adventure is you're going to go find your lost things in order to remove that minor curse that you have on you. So next up, we have the book broken into 5 chapters. The first chapter is basically the carnival. This is really awesome because even if you don't want to run this adventure and use it in your game, you could just grab that chapter and pull it out whole cloth or piecemeal and use it to insert a carnival into your game. Maybe it's a fake carnival, maybe it's not. So, us as Nerdarchy, we don't run a lot of the pre-written adventures, but we do like to use them for inspiration and to pull things out of to put into our own games. And that carnival section has a ton of stuff. There's like games and different prizes you can get. There's things like snail racing, and there's all kinds of charts to go along with it. I feel like that would be super helpful for anyone who just wants to add those carnival elements into your game and you don't want to do all the work yourself and homebrew it. You could just like use that,
or take what's there as a building block, alter the games, alter the characters with just a little bit of work. You could truly make something that's unique and special and your own by using, this book, by using that carnival as a template and a guide, because, it's already an official thing. So, they did it right.
Yeah. So the next 3 chapters are basically about this domain of delights, this one area inside of the Feywild, and you're going to be adventuring in those 3 areas and exploring them, either to get your lost things back or to try and figure out the quest that the warlock has sent you on. Now, what you're going to be able to take away from those, in addition to just being able to run the adventure if you want to, is there's going to be a lot of different things that you can pull from there to just drop into your game if you're looking for elements from the Feywild, whether you're just directly running in the Feywild yourself, or if you just want elements of Faerie to port into your campaign setting.
So the last section, chapter 5 of the adventure, this is where you're dealing with the Fey courts, getting conclusion and resolution of all of the adventure that's happened up to this point. And this is, not only a really cool story, a really cool, interest, but, again, if you want to use that breakout situation, you're not really interested in the rest of the thing and you want to have a Fey-based adventure, here is where you could pull in and drop in your own Fey courts, modifying and twisting to your own desire without having to whole cloth make everything yourself.
In that Fey court, you're going to be introduced to Zilbana, very important to if you would do the Warlock's quest, maybe not so much otherwise. But also, this is like a powerful Archfey that you can introduce into your campaign, which is going to be cool, especially if you have maybe a Pact of the Archfey Warlock in your game, or you want one in your game. So this would be a way to introduce it. There's also a handy pronunciation guide in the beginning of the introduction, or I should say at the end of the introduction, which I was able to use to look up how to say that Archfey's name.
So next we get into the appendices. We got 21 magic items to be able to play with. Then it goes into factions, which we have 3 different groups to be able to kind of work with and work around.
The Hourglass Coven, League of Malevolence, and Valor's Call. And so, we've run the spectrum. One's a coven of hags. One is an evil, kind of like an evil group of adventurers. The other one is kind of a good group of adventurers. And also, in those evil and good groups of adventurers, you're going to see some throwbacks to previous editions of the game, or if not editions, at least to the D&D cartoon. I'm not entirely sure, if they were actually parts of the game in previous adventures, but I'm familiar with them and fond of them because a lot of these characters had appeared in the D&D cartoon from the 80s.
Yeah, and if you harken back to those kind of time frames, there's definitely some nods that make you say, this is awesome, and it makes you glad to have been a part of this hobby for so long.
Then we have monsters in Appendix C, and there are 18 stat blocks, in that appendix, but then there's like 15 strewn about the book in other places. I can't wait till D&D Beyond gets this book over there so that I don't have to hunt through the book to find them. I can just bring them up. But also, like, they range from, I believe, like a 0 to a 20. So I think we're going to see one of the most powerful Fae that we've seen from Wizards of the Coast. There's some third-party supplements that you can get where you can find more powerful Fae. But as far as Wizards of the Coast, I think 20 is going to be the highest.
Indeed, yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun to flip through and look at the different stat blocks. But I have to say that it was a little frustrating to not have all the stat blocks all in one place to just peruse. Again, we like to pick stuff out and just use. So if like, oh well, I want to find this particular thing, you have to find where that is in the adventure if it's not in the appendix for the monsters.
Now, Appendix D is these role-playing cards, and basically what they are, they're like information about the NPCs, but not the mechanical information. It's more like their bonds, ideals, personality traits, and a little blurb about them. So you can just have these stack of cards behind your DM screen, and when they come up, you can pull it out. And maybe you don't need the mechanics per se. Maybe there's not going to be combat, but you'll have information there ready to use as far as role playing them. And honestly, this could be a great asset for any D&D dungeon master to put in your toolbox, where like maybe you're even not running this adventure, but you just want to use those NPCs, and you can just pull the cards and use them.
I like those kinds of things for DMs who are starting to learn, trying to figure out how to handle this particular NPC. If you want to just, oh well, I'll draw one randomly for an NPC that they're going to encounter, you could be able to do even that. Again, anything that's drop-in content use is what we kind of favor, what we really enjoy. The next section winds up being lines for the goblin NPC that is kind of like the not the ringleader, but like the MC of the carnival. So he's got a whole bunch of lines that you can be able to throw out, things that he's going to say on a regular basis.
Yeah, now we've not completely read this from cover to cover yet. We just received it, so this is just a kind of an overview. One of the key points about this particular adventure that Wizards of the Coast seems to be really putting out there is the fact that you don't have to fight your way through this adventure, through this module. There's a lot of solutions that you can come up with, and combat is only one of them. So they're really kind of emphasizing that with this adventure, but it's still D&D, so you can end up fighting things if you want as well. But so there's different ways to come to this to the solutions to your problems in the game. All in all, so far what I've looked at looks like it would be a really fun adventure to run and play in. And even more so, I feel like there's tons of stuff in here that you can just pick out. Like Out of the Abyss was a great adventure to pull elements to use in your Underdark campaign. Well, this is going to do the same thing for your Feywild campaign.
Yeah, I would say of the 5th edition release stuff, this is probably one of my favorite grabs to be able to pull stuff out of. I'm actually, running things in and around the Feywild currently. So this book is, a couple months too late for me. But it's definitely a lot of fun things that are there. I've been teased that one of the DMs that I'm playing with is going to take our adventure once we complete Rime of the Frost Maiden into this. And obviously he's going to just level things up as encounters to be the level appropriate for the party. So like I haven't read too deeply into the adventure stuff, but I flipped through, saw a lot of the beautiful art that's in the book. Talked about some of the different locations that are very fun and interesting. So I'm very excited for this particular book.
Let us know what you think. Are you excited to play this in your game? Are you going to be playing it? Are you going to be running it? Do you love the idea? Hate the idea? Share your thoughts and ideas with the Nerdarchy community down in the comments below.
While you're down there, don't forget to do all those fun things like, share, subscribe, even go ahead and attune to that notification bell.
Quick reminder, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we drop new videos here on the channel. You can come on back and check out what's new. Can't wait till then. No worries, we've got you covered. There's a card up here that you can click on for Vast Grim RPG. It's a Morkborg horror sci-fi hack.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.